Hello everyone, this is Tilottama Sarkar. I'm happy to be live on Tare Zameen Par this evening. How are you all doing? I'll just wait for a few people to join in maybe and then we can start. Hello everyone, I'm Tilottama Sarkar and we are going to have a conversation today on being mindful about our emotions. So, hi to all those who have joined and just curious about how many of you have heard about mindfulness? If you could just respond on the chat, if you could just comment in the comment section, do share with me what do you know about, understand about the term mindfulness. I'll quickly take you through what we're going to discuss today. Today we're going to talk about our emotions, how to understand them, how to like just basically how do we become aware of how we are feeling, right? So I'll start with one of my favorite people's quote. Her name is Maya Angelou, and I'm sure you must have heard her name. She's a very famous philosopher, writer, poetess, activist, civil rights activist in America. She passed away a couple of years ago, but Maya Angelou and her thoughts will always live on. So, in Maya Angelou's words, the way we make people feel is something they never forget. Okay, so she says people might forget what you have said or what you have done, but but people will never forget how you made them feel. So feelings and emotions are very important part of our life, and today we are going to talk about emotions and how to be mindfully aware of how we are feeling. So, I've already asked you, and I'm going to repeat myself. Any idea what this means? What is the meaning of the word mindful, and how do you understand this term? I would be happy to read your comments and do share whenever you feel like. So, what do you understand? How do you feel when I say the word mindful? Okay, so with that, okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead with our discussion here. Just a minute. I'm one of my friends is trying to join this in. I'm just going to invite her in. So yay! Many of my so much to all of you who have made the time to join into the discussion today. All right. So what are emotions and why should we focus here? Right. So we go through the day experiencing millions of emotions. Some of them we understand, we can get a handle on, and some of them we can't. So, so how do we, start the discussion here? So, what are emotions according to you? What are emotions? How do we feel them? Okay. So, emotions basically they give information on how things are going. So, you might be doing a lot of things in the day, thinking a lot of thoughts in the day, but your emotions or how you're feeling gives you a feedback on how your day is actually going, right? Yeah. So emotions they help in survival by telling us how to respond. They also help us understand what do we need and what do others need from us. Okay, so what do we need from others and what others need from us?
these all the aspects
basically understood through emotions, right? So they help us communicate how we feel, so how to express how we are feeling. Emotional reactions are learned through experience, but they can always be changed and altered. So today we're going to understand a little bit about what is the meaning of being mindful about emotions. And to start that discussion, first we need to understand a few basic concepts. One, what is mindful? What do we mean when I say mindful? And what do we mean when we say emotions? And how do they interact? So, what is mindfulness? If we have to simply define mindfulness, the way I would like to say it is what I've learned from a Buddhist monk, and his name is Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a very famous, personality, and you just have to Google his name and to understand how famous he is. And he's very well read in mindfulness. He has his own retreat in France where he practices mindfulness and he preaches it, helps other people also understand what it means. So, mindfulness is basically a clear, non judgmental awareness. So, it's a non judgmental awareness of our inner and outer worlds. So, accepting, acknowledging how I'm feeling, becoming aware of it without any moral judgment. For example, it's not so good to be angry. Why am I feeling angry? It's not very good emotion. Those things are judgments. So, mindfulness is basically accepting and acknowledging what we are feeling in our emotions without any judgment. That's mindfulness. Okay, and how does mindfulness help us understanding emotions? So generally, how do we understand emotions? We might not go through the entire day saying, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm anxious, I'm curious. We might not be using these very words, or I'm scared, You can rather say things like, find yourself, watch yourself when you say things like, I have butterflies in my tummy, or I have a lump in my throat, a heaviness in my chest. All of those things are expressions of emotions. So how do we understand emotions in these very words? So I feel a sparkle in my eyes. you know there is some tension in my shoulders. There's a knot in my throat. I feel so happy, like I could dance. All those words, all those expressions basically communicate emotions. So what is an emotion? An emotion is a psychological state. It's a complex psychological state. Let's just understand a little bit scientific side to it. So, what is an emotion? It is a psychological state which has three distinct components. First is a subjective experience. Second is a physiological response of that subjective experience. And third is a behavioral response of that experience. Okay. So, which means, in very simple words to understand it, ask yourself, ask yourself right now, how do I feel when I'm angry? Ask yourself, how do I feel when I'm happy? How do I feel when I'm sad? Ask yourself those questions. And the way you feel, generally, there is a physiological reaction to it and a behavioral response to it. So, for example, for some of us who are feeling angry, uh, we could get a headache, or we could get actually very warm. Our temperature could go up. That's the physiological response. And the behavioral response to that emotion could be lashing out on somebody, shouting, or, clenching our fists. That could also be a physiological reaction. Shouting at ourselves, being passive aggressive about something. Those are our behavioral response. So when we feel something, it is expressed in two ways. One, in our body, the way we experience it, and secondly, through our behavior when we communicate it to others. So this is the first basic part of what we're going to talk here. And I want to ask you all at this point, how do you experience emotions in your body? So what happens to you when you feel angry? Let's take a difficult emotion. What happens to you when you feel angry? How do you experience that in your body? You can ask yourself. Hi, Ekta. I can see you've joined in and welcome. Hi, Sejal. Hi, Rujuta. Everybody, please let us know, how do you experience emotions in your body? So, generally, when you're very happy, how does that feel? Or when you're feeling very angry, or at this moment in this whole pandemic situation, when you're feeling so anxious or scared, which part of your body really resonates with that feeling? If you could share that in the comment. Generally, when I feel angry, my head starts, I have a headache. I get a headache when I feel very angry. When I feel extremely angry, the way I experience it in my body, it's mostly like my hand and feet start shaking. When I'm scared, I feel like sitting in a corner hugging myself. All those are ways that our body experiences emotions, you know. Yeah, so thanks for sharing, Rujita. Rujita says that she gets a headache when she's angry. You know, so maybe now moving on to how do we. Shito says, when I'm happy, I feel like dancing. Wow, talking and just spreading my happiness to everyone besides me. That's very nice of you, Sheetal. Thank you for sharing. Yes, happiness is very contagious. You feel like sharing your joy with the world, and the world kind of reverberates with it. Yes. So our body experiences, where do we experience all those emotions? It's in our body. So it is very important to connect to our body's wisdom. You know, um, Next time when you're feeling unsure of something, try and connect with your body and see, where are you feeling unsure? Where is that feeling? And that will, yeah, Sejal says, I become restless when angry. Yes, it does, because, I think it gets mixed up with also feelings of anxiousness. Anxiousness and anger are also very good buddies. Sometimes they go hand in hand. And although we generally say there are 6 to 8 basic emotions, but emotions are so complex and they're experienced in a myriad ways. Sometimes anxiousness and anger go hand in hand. Sometimes fear and anger go hand in hand. Sometimes sadness and anger go hand in hand. We start crying because we feel so angry. Sometimes it's so difficult to express, right? So the best way to understand how you're feeling right now, being mindful about it, is to kind of tune into your body. Just close your eyes and take a moment, and just take a few deep breaths, connect with your body, and try and sense that emotion or feeling in the body. Okay, so I have put together certain basic steps for you to do it yourself, which is very easy to be done, and also helps you understand mindfully how you're feeling. So I'm going to take you through those steps right now, and I'll be happy to answer any questions later. So, okay, so what are those? Yes. So the question that we posing is, how can we help ourselves? How can we deal with emotions mindfully? So that's our topic now. How do we deal with emotions mindfully? Okay. And by mindfully, I have already said what I mean. I mean without judgment, just acceptance. Let me give you a very visual metaphor to understand this. Imagine that you are sitting by the sea. Okay. Imagine that you're sitting on the beach watching the waves of the ocean or the sea in front of you. Okay. And as you sit and watch, the waves are coming and the waves are going. Okay. Similarly, compare it with your own mind. Okay. Emotions will come just like the waves. Imagine your mind to be the ocean and the emotions to be waves. The emotions will come and they will go. Okay. So, gentle observer sitting by the beach, only watching them. That way, you can engage with them without getting entangled in them. Now, this might sound very easy, it's not always so easy, and that is fine. There is nothing wrong with something being difficult. First, to understand that and to allow yourself to struggle with it is also fine. Okay, so with that, keeping that metaphor in mind, I want to take you through a few steps, uh, you know, with the intention that it will help you to mindfully manage your emotions. Okay, so the first one is turn towards your emotion with acknowledgement. So, when you're feeling something, whatever it could be, a lump in your throat, a soreness in your heart, heaviness in your chest, butterflies in your tummy, sparkle in your eyes, whatever you're feeling, just turn towards it, engage with it without judgment, and just acknowledge it. Excuse me. Example, becoming aware of where do you sense that emotion in the body. So the step number one is to acknowledge the emotion as is. Whatever is it you're feeling, where are you feeling it in the body? That's the first step. Just acknowledge it. Just say, I know you're here and I want to understand you. Okay? That's the first step. Second, mindful identification of difficult emotion. So if you're going through something difficult, a difficult emotion, then you have to identify exactly what it is. So sit by yourself, introspect, connect with your inner world, and ask yourself, am I feeling anger? And if the answer is yes, then just say it out loud to yourself, I feel anger. Now, there's a difference in saying I am angry and the difference is very simple. When I say I am angry, I am one with that emotion. But when I say I feel anger, then I'm watching it. I'm watching myself engage with that emotion. The second example, the second way of saying it is mindful way of saying it. Because the moment you say it like that, your mind kind of shifts into this objective seat, the seat of introspection, where you are in better control of how you're feeling, what you're feeling. Actually, control is the wrong word. I would rather say that you're better informed and better aware of how you're feeling and what you're feeling. You're not drowning in the waves, you're only watching them. Okay, the third step. The third step is to accept the emotion holistically. Don't deny its existence. The third step basically is to accept whatever you're feeling entirely. Okay? Good, bad, ugly are only judgments. Every emotion is only an emotion. Whether it is good or bad is a judgment we add to it. Okay? So don't value judge anything. Don't value judge what you're feeling. Just holistically accept it and see where that takes you. Okay? Fourth, realize the impermanence of difficult emotions. So, one of the best ways to deal with or cope with anything, and especially anything difficult, is to realize that everything is impermanent. Nothing stays forever. Okay, so even if you're feeling absolutely joyous right now, very, very happy, that is also experienced in time. It's a time and space experience. Okay, in the next moment or in the next space, you could feel different. Similarly, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling scared, when you're feeling anxious, those are also difficult, yes, but also impermanent. They are not going to be there forever. So, the best way to arm yourself while managing the difficult emotions is to tell yourself this is not going to last forever. Okay, that gives you a lot of boost, a lot of strength from within. Okay, so the step fifth step is to inquire and introspect. So now that you know what you're feeling and you have accepted it holistically, you have also understood it is only a matter of time that I'm feeling this way and not forever. Now the time is to ask more, engage more, and try to find out why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Now, this step is a little critical, and I would suggest it might overwhelm you. So, take help. Take help of a therapist, counselor. They're the ones who are trained to help you out, to facilitate this process for you. You'll be the one dealing and managing. Of course, they cannot give you your answers, but definitely they can hold space while you navigate through all of this. So this inquiry and introspection happens within you, and sometimes you might also need help to get through it. But definitely, this is one step that you have to acknowledge and go through. Sixth and the last step is to let go. So once you have understood what you're feeling and you have inquired why you are feeling it, the sixth step and the most important step is to be able to let go. What does that mean? Not let go of the emotion, but to let go the need to control that emotion. By which I mean, when we are going through difficult emotions, we feel that when will this end? I want it to end right away. I'm not feeling angry anymore. I want to deny it. Sometimes we feel like denying it. We feel like running away from it because it's too much to take, and that's all okay. So there is no judgment anywhere. That's fine. You are trying your best to do what you're doing. Okay, but the idea here is to let go of the need to control it. Okay, whatever it is, engage with it and let that emotion tell you, guide you, and have a conversation with you on what is going to happen ahead. Okay, so be open to the outcome of this inner dialogue. So have an inner dialogue. Don't try to control or manipulate the outcome of that inner dialogue, is what I'm saying. So let go of the need to have a happy ending. Let go of that need. Let go of that requirement that is so strong, that this has to happen the way I want it to happen. Let go of that. Let go of the control and see how wonderfully you manage this. Okay, the best way to deal with emotions is to engage with them without judgment, without uh, those expectations of how it should go. So that is how it's the best way to engage with emotions. Okay, so I'm going to repeat those steps for you. The first step to mindfully understand or deal with emotions is, first step is to acknowledge what you're feeling. Acknowledge that something is going on inside and ask yourself, where do you feel it? In which part of the body feels it? Is it the heart? Is it the belly? Is it the core? Is it your spine? Is it the shoulder? Do you feel stress on your shoulder? Do they feel heavy? You know. So ask your body, where are you feeling and what exactly are you feeling? That's step one. Second step is to put a name to it. Okay, so what is it? Do you feel anger? Do you feel anxiousness? Do you feel happiness? What do you feel? Curiosity? So put a name to it. Third step is to accept it holistically. So no judgment, entirely. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it is mine, and I'm going to accept that emotion I'm feeling entirely. Okay. So when you do that, you give yourself permission to engage with it, to understand what has triggered this. Okay. Fourth step is to understand that nothing lasts forever. Okay, everything comes to an end, and no matter how terrible you feel right now, how difficult it is right now, it is just in the moment, and you will get through it. That will motivate you, give you strength and inspiration to go through with it. Okay, fifth is to inquire, and as I said, sometimes that introspection or inquiry requires a little bit of help. You might want to reach out if you're feeling very overwhelmed by this introspection and inquiry. It is advisable that you reach out to a professional like a therapist or a counselor who can help you and hold space for you in this journey. Sixth, and the most important part, is to let go of the need to control. I wanted to work out this particular way. That expectation, uh, is detrimental to it makes the process slightly more difficult. So, if you want to be able to mindfully engage with your emotions, the most important step is to be able to let go of that need to control how the conversation or how the inner dialogue will work out. Okay, and be curious, be open-minded to what comes up as a part of that inner dialogue, because that will ultimately guide you, and help you understand what's the way ahead, what's the way forward for you and your emotion. Okay, so I can see a couple of people have joined in, and thank you, Chandrani, for joining in. And okay, so I think we are at about 4:30 now, and we do have some time. And I do have a few last things to cover, but if there is any question, any observation, any reaction, response, feelings that are coming up, I would love to, I'll try my best to answer. You could share your responses or questions on the chat window, on the comment section. Okay, so I can see one question from Sejal, and she's asking, how can we keep reminding ourselves to be mindful? Okay, how can we keep reminding ourselves to be mindful? Great question, Sejal. Um, it's a habit, it takes some time, but the best friend that you have, which will always be with you and help you and remind you, is your breath, you know, your inhale and your exhale. So tell yourself, give your brain this verbal command that whenever I'm in a situation which is overwhelming me, and the moment I take a pause, or I just take a big breath in and out, that is going to remind me to come back to a place of mindfulness. Okay, so and trust me, our brains and our minds are so powerful. The moment you tell that to yourself, you will remember it, and you will always, your breath will always help you to come back to a state of mindfulness in that moment. And with the practice, it's a lifetime practice, and the more we practice mindfulness or being mindful, the better we become at it. So mindfulness is actually a state of being. So the more we are into it, the better we become day by day. Okay. What else? Any other question? I do want to take you through a brief activity which will last for about 10 minutes, and I want to end the session with that. So which means it has given me some about 10 to 15 minutes time to interact with you, and I would love to answer those questions that you have now. I'm going to share a quote with you, okay? And I want you to tell me how you feel about it. Okay. So the quote is, You are the sky. Everything else is just the weather. I'll repeat myself. You are the sky, and everything else is just the weather. How do you feel about that? What do you think it means to you? This is a quote by a Buddhist monk, Pema Chodron, and she has shared this. And I'm excited to understand. I'm curious to know what, when you hear it, what does it invoke in you? You are the sky, and everything else is just the weather. What do you think it means? It is actually an expression of mindfulness, and mindfulness is like the sky. So in when you are mindful, you are like the sky. You know, there will be clouds, there'll be rain, there'll be thunder, there'll be sunshine, but all of those things are temporary. The only permanent thing is the sky. So think of yourself like the sky or the ocean, you know, and the storms will come and go, but you will still remain. So that is the beauty of mindfulness. Now, for everybody who's watching and a part of this interaction, I would like to do a very simple mindful body scan activity for you. And before I start that, I would request you to be seated in a comfortable space. So, without too much of noise, without too much of distractions, a space where you can just connect with yourself. If you could just maybe go to your bedroom and sit comfortably on the bed, that would be great for this activity to really, help you connect with yourself. Okay. So I will start in about a minute's time, and I'll give you 1 minute time to be seated in a relaxed manner in a place with no distraction, uh, wherever you feel the most safe and the most comfortable. So find a place which is your own, which makes you feel comfortable and feel safe, and sit there comfortably. And as you sit down, ensure that your lower back is well rested. Also, your entire back. I hope your entire back is well rested. Feel free to rest your arms on your thighs and really recline back and enjoy. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes and follow my voice. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, become aware of your feet, your toes, the finger on your feet. With a deep inhale and a long exhale, becoming aware of our feet, sending a lot of love and gratitude to our feet. Becoming aware now of our legs, our shin, the muscles on our legs. Taking a deep breath and with an exhale, becoming aware of our legs, sending in a lot of love, a lot of gratitude. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, become aware of your knees, the front of your knees and the back of your knees, sending a lot of love and a lot of gratitude to your knees. Take a deep breath, and with a long exhale, become aware now of your thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs. Send a lot of love, a lot of gratitude as you exhale into your thighs. moving, a, moving up further into the body and taking a deep breath, and with an exhale, sending a lot of love and gratitude, relaxing our hips and our genitals, the private parts. Taking a deep breath, and as we exhale, now becoming aware of our waist and the back of the lower back, actually, the small of our back, the lower back. Taking a deep breath, and as we exhale, sending a lot of relaxing energy, love, and gratitude to our lower back and our waist. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, become aware now of your lower abdomen, the belly. Sending a lot of love and a lot of gratitude to our bellies, to the organs within the intestines, sending them a lot of gratitude as we move up ahead in our body, taking a deep breath and sending a lot of love as we exhale to the upper abdomen and all the internal organs, stomach, liver, pancreas, all of it, the gallbladder. Taking a deep breath, and as we exhale, sending in a lot of love and gratitude to our chest and the heart within, the lungs within. Relaxing, a deep sense of relaxation. Taking a deep breath, and with a long exhale, connecting now to our upper chest and our shoulder blades, sending in a lot of relaxation and a lot of love to our shoulder blades. They take a lot of pressure the whole day. Taking a deep breath in, and with a long breath out, becoming aware of our throat, of our neck, of the glands within, sending a lot of loving energy to the glands within. As you take a long breath in and a long breath out, sending in a lot of love now to our entire face, all the facial muscles, your eyes, nose, lips, the mouth within, your ears, and your cheeks. Sending a lot of love to our chin, our eyebrows, forehead. Take a deep breath in, and for a moment longer, be here. This time, as you exhale, send a lot of love to the space between your eyebrows, the seat of your third eye. Take a deep breath and send in a lot of love to your third eye. As you take a deep breath in and as you exhale, becoming aware now of the top of our head, sending in a lot of love and a lot of gratitude to the top of our head. A deep relaxation is setting into your body. You're connecting with the little sensations and the feelings inside. Your body is communicating with you, and you are tuning in to the communication of your body. As you breathe in and as you take a breathe out, a deep exhale, connect now to the back of your head, sending in a lot of love and relaxation to the back of your head. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, now becoming aware of your spine, the top of your spine. Sending in a lot of love and a lot of gratitude to your entire spine, from the top till the bottom. Feel the energy of your love traveling down through your spine and relaxing yourself. Take a deep breath now, and as you breathe out, become aware of your arms, right from the shoulders till your fingertips, becoming aware of our arms. With another breath, becoming aware and sending love and gratitude to both our arms, the left arm and the right arm. until the tip of our fingers. Take a deep breath in, a deep inhale, and a long exhale. And with that, send a lot of love and energy right from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Once again, a deep inhale and a long exhale, sending in a lot of love and gratitude to your whole body from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. And as you keep your eyes closed, just join your palms together, rub them gently, and place them on your eyes. And whenever you're comfortable, whenever it is possible for you, whenever there's no hurry, gently open your eyes. I hope that was relaxing for you. Also, please share in the comment section how you felt and how you're feeling right now after this body scan, after a mindful awareness, becoming mindfully aware of our whole body, just sending in a lot of love and gratitude to each part of our body. It's a very simple activity. You can do it yourself. If you could take out time for about 5 to 10 minutes a day at the end of the day, while you are just tucking yourself into the bed after a long day, this is a good way to relax your mind and to relax your body, and also to understand and connect with your body. What is your body trying to tell you? So take out some time and try and do this yourself every day and see how that changes you, how it enables you to become more mindful about how you're feeling, about your emotions. So, and as you respond on the comment, I would request you to expand your emotional vocabulary, and rather than saying I felt good, relaxed, or great, or not so good, also find more descriptive ways of communicating your feelings. How are you feeling right now in this moment? Finding more descriptive ways to express how we are feeling is also a great way to connecting with our emotions by vocalizing it better, in not just one or two words, but more than that. All right, so a quick time check. We do have another 10 minutes or 15 minutes to go, and I would love to take any questions that you have at this point before we close the session. Okay, so if you have any questions later, you could obviously reach out to me. You could DM me. You could inbox me. Just send me a message on Facebook or on this thread on Tare Zameen Per page as well. Wherever, please do reach out if you need to have a conversation or to just talk about how you're feeling. I'll definitely be there to hold space. Okay. So before we end, I would just like to, kind of recap the whole thing. And our topic for today was how do we, how do we become mindful about our emotions? And so we understood and we engaged with the two concepts, mindfulness and emotions today. So as we understand, emotions are complex psychological state that we experience in our body, and also it shows in our behavior, the way we respond to it. So, mindfulness is when we are open to acknowledge and become aware and accept the emotion that we are feeling entirely, holistically, without judgment. So, mindful presence feels good in its own right. It helps us become relaxed, alert, and peaceful. So, when we are in a mindful state, we are not contending with anything or anyone. There is no struggle in mindfulness. So, mindfulness is actually a practice that really empowers us, enables us, and helps us to better engage with our inner world as well as the outer world. So, all the best to you. I had a great time interacting here today, and I hope that I have been able to introduce this concept of being mindful about your emotions to you today. For anything further, do reach out to us. We'll be happy to help, and we're always here for you. Thank you so much.